Hi, Valerie. How are you? Can you hear me okay? Hi, Leslie. Just let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. I'm in the museum tonight doing some track cleaning and layout maintenance and testing some of my phones and everything in here to see if they work. So I thought I'd just go live for a little bit. Just keep me company while I'm in here. So how are you guys doing? Is it warm where you are? Hi, Nigel. How's it going? What you're looking at there is actually a model of Donegal Town Station, of how it looked over 60 years ago. I'm just going to try and set up a few more cameras on here so you can see what I'm doing. Forgot to bring my webcam in with me, so I can't hook up. It's a laptop. Hi, Tom. How you doing? I wasn't expecting. Hey, Robert. Yeah, it's raining here in Donegal earlier on. It's drying out. It's turned into quite a nice warm evening. It's nice, pleasant sort of t-shirt weather at the moment. I'm planning to maybe head for a beach in the morning before it gets too hot. Hi, John. How you doing? So, how's everyone's train rooms and attics holding up? Have we had any buckled tracks yet? To see now how I can, because I'm using my phone. So bear with me. The picture's going to go a bit shaky while I try and sort my phone out. Yes, we're down there. Stream. Stream. Yeah. Right, I've added the cameras. They're dark at the moment because they're face down. How they're looking. How do they look? Hi, Hot Dog. How you doing? Yours is still in the box, John. Might be safe there for the next couple of days. Today was the first sort of warm day we've had here in Donegal. I was in Bundoran today, which is a seaside resort town, a bit like a smaller version of Weston-super-Mare, if any of you know it. A much smaller version. It was a nice day. Went down to the beach, played a bit of football with a young lad on the beach, and built some sand castles. Yeah, so yet again, two of my daughters are out in the town tonight, so taking the opportunity to come into the museum and thought, right, I can do a bit of maintenance. I put down some more grass scatter on the Pedigo layout. I've just done that. It took about 20 minutes there earlier on, so I'm just leaving that to dry now overnight. Have a look at it tomorrow or Monday and see, vacuum it off, and then do the static grass. So I thought today I will come in, give these engines a good clean, and give the track a good clean, because I haven't cleaned all this for quite some time. And we've had a lot more running recently with more guests being in. So I'm just using IPA, clean off the wheels. And clean off the track a bit as well. Doesn't seem to matter how much you clean. There's always plenty of dirt. This Thomas isn't working, so I'll replace that 060 Thomas with, we did have a 040 Thomas. Yeah, it was very pleasant today. It was, if you move too much, you broke out in a sweat. It was just nice to sort of enjoy the heat. Tomorrow, I think, it's forecast to be a different kettle of fish, and even hotter than on Monday. So I will probably retreat to my train room in the shed, because believe it or not, that is actually the coolest place in the house, because when I insulated it to keep the heat in, it also keeps the heat out on the warm summer days. Like when we had a couple of hot days last year, I spent a few hours in the train shed, led on the floor, watching stuff on YouTube because it was so warm. See, every layout needs a Thomas. And the eagle-eyed of you would have seen that it's two GWR tank engines that are running around here, because our Donegal stock is quite worn, and really they shouldn't be run anymore. They're just static exhibits now. Yeah, I will get to. When in November is it? It's usually about the second weekend in November, I think, Valerie. Some of these locos have traction tires. So it's be heading up to County Down middle of next week. Because I'm going to, what's the name of the 7¼ inch that's over there? Is it Dunlewy? No, it's not Dunlewy. I'm going to head up there because I think they're open on the Wednesday. going to take a trip up there with our 7¼ inch here, just to see if there's anybody there who would have the same controller as it, so we can test it before we go to the expense of buying a new controller for it. Why is that stop? So I'm just using good old IPA, the 99.9% stuff, so it doesn't leave any water residue on anything. Some of these wheels are quite grubby. I should have bought in my Dremel tool with the brush on it. That would make short work of these. Yeah, it's just a chance to do a little bit of maintenance in here. So got the LGB to give a clean to. Running really, really slowly. Hi, Peter. Peter, one of the reasons I'm on so late is because I'm in the museum here doing some maintenance on the layouts in the museum, and my daughters are on the town tonight, so I dropped them in. I'm gonna stay in here for a couple of hours, take them home. The layout you can see there is the Donegal layout. This is actually a layout of the station of how it used to look. Everything seems to be running relatively well. I'll take the LGB down and give that a clean. Yeah, this layout here was built, I think, sometime in the 70s. So this was built, back when there wasn't, the only way you got stuff was mail order from a catalog. Everything on the layout is scratch built. The gentleman who built it unfortunately passed away a few years ago, but I had a son in here a couple of years ago, and he was saying how exact his father was at building it. He would pick out every rivet, and if he got the wrong amount of rivets on a model, he would scrap it and start again. But it is an outstanding model, all completely scratch built. Even the locos and rail cars that are on it are all scratch built. It's just a testament to the skills that the man had. We also have paintings on the wall, which I'll show you in a minute, which he also done. These are actually quite a bit of dirt coming off these. These LGB models have skids on them that pick up the power, but they also seem to pick up the power through the wheels as well. I'd say this is just a chance to give everything a good clean. So it gives the track a good clean as well. Well, Valerie, excluding my daughters, yeah, I think you are the only female. Yeah, all the this layout is all DC, and they're all working on shuttles. So there's 7 shuttles on here. Let me just finish what I'm doing, and then I'll lift the camera up and give you a tour of the actual layouts. Now, what was I doing? Oh yeah, clean the track. Or I need a this is one. So the LGB, of course, is G gauge. And we have a few G gauge Donegal models. All right, trying to talk and do things at the same time. So I can't seem to do that anymore. Hi, Carl. How you doing? I have no idea what it is, Leslie. It's the one that comes in the basic LGB kit. Now we do have at the moment, I've got the LGB working on a 12-volt power supply, which is one of the reasons why it's not running the best, because they are supposed to be 24 volt. But do you think I can find a 24 volt power supply? Because the shuttles I'm using, they're rated up to 36 volt and 8 amps. So they should be able to handle it pretty well. Track is black. All right, let's lift the oops. So there's a map of the network. We're here in Donegal. So this layout has got Barnes Holt on it. And goes Killybegs with Inver Station on it. So we start at this little halt here, which is Varnes Halt, and it goes straight into the station. So where that carriage is sitting, that will be the branch that goes off to Killybegs. If I make this solo, if I show you around. So as I say, this is the branch that would go off to Ballyshannon. Now we're into the station itself. There's the signal box. And the station. So this is the bit here where we have our museum. This section here is actually the bit we're in at the moment. If you look at that curved wall, that is that curve there, where the exit used to be onto the platform. So this was actually the toilet block, accommodation for the station master, and then this houses the ticket office and the waiting room. Hi Cormac, how you doing? And of course, this is the footbridge that goes over it. I had that moved while I was cleaning the track. No, I didn't build this. This is way above my. I couldn't come close to doing anything like this. This was built by the same man who painted those pictures. Oh, the layout then continues on around with what is the start of the track work for Inver Station in, as it was in about 1906. I think the passing loop was taken out of Inver shortly after that. Now, with Inver, this bridge or this road actually is a high level and goes as a bridge over the track here, not as a level crossing, but you know, some modeler's license here. So this track layout is how it would have been. Obviously, it would have been straight, not going around a curve. To a good shed with a crossover there, and then back into single track there, and then we have Killybegs. This is how station was in Killybegs. It was the only station that had an actual covering over it, because obviously over here you have the Atlantic Ocean splashing in on the track. You got a lot of diesel and oil storage for the trawlers. And that track there, it's a track that went on out onto the pier, which is the only tracks of the original Donegal Railway that's left in existence because they're concreted into the pier. You can see all the stations had a turntable, because the rail cars could only go forward. They did have one reverse gear, but obviously they couldn't travel long distance with just one reverse gear. Donegal Railway closed in 1959 on the 31st of December, so New Year's Eve 1959. So up in here, this level, we have the LGB, and it's actually pulling a Donegal coach. And then up on the high level track, we have a G-scale model of Railcar 12. So these are all running on shuttles. Here's the brains of it here. So you can see those lights at the top. That's all the individual shuttles for the 7 tracks. And because I had a load of Hornby train sets, I'm just using the basic controllers, which, as you know, the Hornby ones aren't great, but they do the job. So that one switch there with the red light above it, that's the kill switch. That switches the whole lot on and off. Because obviously we only have this running when we have guests in the museum, so we just switch because it can be quite noisy with all the trains going. It's not that complicated. It's just each. I don't know if you can pick up the lettering there, how I've numbered it. So you've got each controller is wired into one of these. So we've got controller 7 here is wired into the shuttle 7. And then I got a thing over here that tells me that 7 is Killybegs siding. And you'll also see I'm using the DC outputs. So I've got DC1, DC2, DC3 for the lighting sections. So you can see that's for lighting in Donegal Town, Inver siding, Killybegs. All I'll do now is I'll switch off the main lights so you can have a look at the lighting I put in. So you can see the light in the signal box. Put it in the engine shed. A couple of lights in the station and the waiting room. You know, using different colored bulbs just to give different effects. And there's the houses over here. And of course, I put some lights in the buffer stops as well, but they wouldn't have had that. You've got Inver Station. Lighting in it. The water tower. And then we've got lighting in Killybegs. When the lighting really does come into its own is when we have, during the winter, we have our Halloween and Christmas events on, when it's actually darker in here during the day. It just adds to the effect. Well, we've got fluorescents in here at the moment. We actually have just put an application in to get new lighting in here, because obviously LEDs now would be a lot cheaper to run. See, the biggest problem with Donegal, as you can see here, is a large part of our border is with Northern Ireland. There's only actually about 10-15 miles here that connects us to the rest of the Republic. And up to about 20 years ago, there was only actually one bridge going across the Erne that connected us. Now we have 2 bridges. So when you look at a map, which we should have around here somewhere, yeah, here's the big version of Ireland. This is the railways as of 1906. You can see all the railways come out like a spider web from Dublin through the north. Now in the 50s, the government here in Belfast was just hell-bent on closing everything west of the Bann. So this is Loughnane. The Bann runs from Loughnane. So everything this side that they want to close, which left our railway up here with no connections. So that was one of the nails in the coffin for our railway. Of course, the other one was using lorries and buses. You know, why pay to keep a road rails going when the government's paying for the road upkeep? Do have you look at what Ireland once had and what we have now. Notice a big blank space up here compared with what we used to have up around here. Glenties, I'll show you on the bigger map. Glenties is there. So you can see that or not. No, we don't sell any models at the moment. It's something I have been looking into. Just all I can say is just watch this space. But it's now you can get kits for the rail cars and steam engines and that. They are available. Which is something I'm looking at doing, but again, it's on my list. One of the things they've done recently is the government in North and South have done a joint review of the railways in Ireland. And so far what they seem to have come up with is, you know, we should put back what we ripped up 60 years ago. So they're on about, yes, have reinstating the train from Derry down through to Omagh on down to Dublin and from on to Enniskillen and across to Sligo. And what they want to do as well is, which I think if they had a line going from Derry all the way down to Sligo, I think that would probably still be open to this day because you'd be able to do a circuit of Ireland now. But the line only went as far as Ballyshannon, where then you could get on the GNR back into Enniskillen to then go to Sligo. Whereas if they bridged that gap between Ballyshannon and Sligo, which is only about 20 miles, you know, that would have made a big difference. Yeah, so that's the railway. So I'm just going to carry on keeping an eye on the chat, cleaning the tracks and the locos. Of course, since I cleaned the LGB now, it's completely stopped working. Enniskillen's about 40 miles away. It's about 40 minutes to an hour's drive for me. I'm in Enniskillen quite a lot because that's where Modeller's Corner is. All the railways in Donegal, of course, they were all 3 foot narrow gauge, but the GNR, which also came to Donegal, that was 5'3". So all the railways, the main lines in that in Ireland were 5'3". Now you did have a lot of narrow gauges. You had the Londonderry Lough Swilly, you had the Donegal Railway, you had Cavan and Leitrim, you had the Dingle, Tralee Dingle, you had the Clare, West Clare Railway. Here's another one as well. What one was it? We actually had a video done to support this place done in the 90s. So I'm actually going to break because it was done on the Swilly, County Donegal, Cavan and Leitrim, Tralee Dingle, and the West Clare. And I'm actually going to put that up over the next couple of weeks, split it into each individual one. So it gives a little bit of a history of each railway. It's only about 10, 15 minutes long, but I'm trying to put them together now to put them up over the next couple of weeks. No, the Ballybunion was a monorail. And actually that Ballybunion one ran in front of my grandmother's house. She's from that neck of the woods. So I've been down there a few times. They have built a replica of it in the Stole, but every time I've been down there, it's been closed. So I've never actually got a go on it. Oh, like if we still had the narrow gauge here in Donegal, or even a section of it, which we're trying to restore a section of it, it would be such a tourist trap because it goes through. Donegal is a very scenic county. It's loads of hills and mountains and lakes and rivers, and I 20 years ago, one of my jobs was IT support, and I used to have to drive all over the county, and it was the best job I ever had because I was just driving through fantastic scenery every day, and it didn't matter what the weather was; it always showed something different. Well, Downpatrick was a 5'3". That was just a normal standard gauge. That was the Belfast and Bangor Railway or something that was called, that line that's built on. To be honest, Leslie, I don't know because I've never actually seen them. Oh, the Ballycastle, Larne and Ballycastle Railway. That was 3-foot gauge as well. In fact, I think that was the first 3-foot gauge railway because that's the one that they went and looked at when they were building the Donegal one. Right, what I might do is I've got a Gauge Master power supply here. It's 12 volt, 1 amp. What I might do is plug that into the LGB and just see if that makes it run any better. Because it used to run better than that on the 12 volt. Is this Gauge Master one is 2-track one. I could replace a couple of them in here. Oops. So the lower window is number 6. Of course, I don't have a new buyer with me, do I? Oh, that'll be a job for another day then. Yeah, there is some. You've got the Bushmills up there, which they've got 2 steam engines, which are just sitting in a shed, rotting. Again, that's another railway that whenever I go up there, it's never open or running. Just have to keep an eye on the main camera because the battery is starting to run low on that. Oh, put the again. Now, there's a light. Why is this not working? No, it's still working. I'm getting a chance now to do all these fiddly little jobs that I can't normally get done. If I'm in here during the day, there's visitors in and I'm talking to them and there's things to be done. So all I've got in here running from the 12-volt supply is just a little LED in this lamp. So now can you see it from one of the cameras? No, you can't actually see it from any of the cameras. The rail cars were built by well, Walker built the later ones. So you had them built between GNR, which is Great Northern Ireland, and Walker Brothers. The earlier ones were sort of built a bit in-house. They were taken from other railways. You have Great Northern, O'Doherty, which O'Doherty is actually based in Strabane. They were coach builders. Recently, their factory burnt down because nowadays they make coffins. I think it was O'Doherty's anyway. But that lamp still's got original soot in it. It's going to hook a battery pack up to phone so it doesn't die. Let's see now. Railcar is still going. Well, Railcar 10 and Phoenix, which is Railcar 11. It's a shunter. And Railcar 1 are up in Coltra in Belfast on static display. Railcar 12 is in the museum in Derry. That did run in the 90s, but hasn't run since. Railcar 18 is in Fintown, and that's running over the summer. And Railcars 19 and 20 are in the Isle of Man, and they haven't ran since the 90s. They are in various states of restoration in a shed in the Isle of Man since the mid-90s. So we'd love to get 19 and 20 back here when we've got somewhere to run them, because you could run, when the railway closed in Donegal, the Isle of Man Railway bought them and they ran them for a few years back to back, so they didn't need a turntable. But they didn't really suit what they were doing in the Isle of Man, and I believe the Isle of Man are just concentrating now on their steam services. So it'd be great to get them restored and get them back here, because we could run them back to back. But I believe the Isle of Man doesn't want them to leave the island. As far as they're concerned, they're Isle of Man rail cars now, because they've been on there since 62, I think they arrived on the island. So they've been there, well, 60 years now, whereas they only ran on the Donegal for about 8-9 years. They came in the early 50s to the Donegal Railway. Hi Grant, how you doing? Right, I know it's July, but I wired in some Christmas lights up here for Christmas. They're still plugged in. I think we need to take those out. That's my finger. To cheat and cut them. So that'll actually make it easier to put it in next year, or, well, 5 months' time. The museum is open 7 days a week. It's open 10 to 5 Monday to Saturday and 12 to 4 on Sundays. Hi Mark Hamildown, how you doing? Grant, I'm not too bad. I'm enjoying my time in the museum here, doing a bit of maintenance while two of my daughters are over the town partying. So it was a great excuse. So it's the missus, well, you know what, I might as well just stay in town, do a bit of work in the museum while they're partying, and I can make sure they get home safely. Right, so I have this section of track to clean now. So I've done kitty bags, and the kitty bags are in Versiding. Now I will do this section. Oh, point isn't set. Oops. Do believe I've just broke that. I did do on this section of railways, I did put extra droppers in and done a bit of rewiring on it. I almost think that some of this track is actually possibly worn out. Now I have got two sections on here where I have shuttles put in, but they've never really worked properly. One on this line here, just over this section here, but it's old steel track. And even though I've tried to put a dropper on each section of track to power it, and to get it to work properly, I would need to lift up the track and relay it, which I'm not going to do because this is a museum artifact. And it's another man's work, another man's pride and joy. All I do is try and maintain it. So it's entrusted to us here to look after it so future generations can see it. Now the section from the end of here around, I built that, so I can do that. Do what to that what I want. Well, the live stream should be just listed in my videos. I think, aren't they? Let me just have a look. Let me see. If I sign in as. Oops. Yeah, they're all listed there. So if you go to like my homepage, and then at the top it's got home videos, playlist, community. If you click on videos, they should be all sorted in chronological order. So you'll see the live chats are trains and chat, live stream, and then in between that, then are the different videos I've done that go out on Fridays. So I haven't put one out for 2 weeks now, but. Yeah, the notifications are hit and miss, Peter. But just, 9 times out of 10, I don't get a notification that I'm going live, or it'll come to me half an hour through going, "You're live." And I went, "Yeah, no, I am." The signals, no, the signals aren't wired in. They don't work automatically. In fact, the signals are controlled by wire. Let me put this down. I'll just show you. Now the points are motorized. Just going to lift you up so you can see. So you've got the old wire to pull the signals, and you got the point switches. So old school way of doing stuff. I'd say we don't actually pull those wires. I have, when I've been servicing it, when I've had the perspex off, the majority of them still work. They're still free moving, but they're just static now. That's all right, no problem, Carl. Yeah, I did build some of it. The section between, so we have so bit back here, the Barnes Holt. I did build that, although the actual Holton platform was built by the same guy who built the layout, George Hannon. I've done that bit. He, of course, built Donegal. There's another couple of modelers that built Killybegs, and I just basically done the section between, which, to be fair, the scenery needs to be redone on it because I had a load of cheap, like colored sawdust scatter, and it's just faded now, so everything looks yellow. The static grass I put over top of it in some places still looks great, but everything else underneath is yellow, so I need to get back in here with a bit more color scatter, bushes, and that sort of thing, and just freshen up a bit. Oh, how was the open day? Yeah, it's always a bit of a chance when you go live, and you think, especially when it's not one of your scheduled ones. Like my normal live is 7:30 every Thursday, but yeah, you never know if anyone's going to turn up. The first minute you're there looking, oh, nobody's joined. Right, the LGB is still going. The upper level one's still going. I've cleaned the track. So what I'm going to look at now is this Thomas. This is the Thomas I got out of the set that I showed you. I picked up for 30 quid when I was in Bristol, and it was working fine. But now it's not working. So I need to find out why that is. No. I think there's a little bit loose ballast just there where it's rising up on it. I'm losing connection with the track. Smooth that out a bit. And Thomas just isn't working now, and I don't. So I will take that home with me, I think. I can sit it on the bench on the rolling road and just see if I can get it working. See what else I got here. Yeah, Grant, as Leslie says there, where you the little bell icon beside where you subscribe, you click all notifications. As he says, it doesn't always work. So I've got a little 04. It seems to be working. And it's obviously up Percy. So we will put that over here. First off, I will give that a clean. Hi, Ewan. How you doing? It's great doing this YouTube live because otherwise I'd just be stood in here chatting to myself. And luckily, where the museum is, people don't usually walk by. So there's no one to see me in here talking to myself. I really do need to get myself one of those brass cleaning wagons. I see one. I've still got that alternative one, but Leslie keeps telling me about. Still got that written on a piece of wood on my layout. I think I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and just buy one. Mrs. wants to buy a new car, so maybe if she buys a new car, that'll be my excuse. Go, oh, well, you've bought a new car. Can I just spend 130 quid on this, please? Right, now. No matter how much you clean, there's always dirt. No, it's definitely not an Oxford model. What track is it? I don't know what's on this layout. I mean, a lot of this track on this particular layout, some of it looks like it's handmade. It's the little bits of solder and that on the tie bars on the points and things, and the spacing and the size of the sleepers. Now, some of it does look like Picotrack. When you look at the frogs and everything, they're let's see, is that working? Sorry, Killybegs type. No, that's gone off. So reset. Number 7. Just switch it all off. Reset. Oh, reset it. Whatever happens with number 7, it's just shorting out straight away. So it doesn't like that loco. No, it doesn't appear to be brass track. Entertaining question aimed at your good self involving a foreman. I'll have to check that out later. Put that off for a minute. Right, this is stopping there. You know, sometimes you probably just shouldn't touch stuff if it's working, just leave it well alone. I've put my little jar of fluid down. Forgot where I put it. Oh, it's on the floor. Right, let's try that again. Well, if you are in Donegal, Carl, give me a shout. I should be here. We're not far away. I've put my holiday plans on hold. I think we're going to maybe try and go away in September. Right, so LGB is working. Donegal to Barnes is working. Killybegs to Donegal is sort of working. And the infra siding keeps stopping on a point. I think some of these points I need to replace with an electro frog. Because they're never being switched or anything, they're just fixed. So you could just wire the frog up. Get the bus iron driver to beat the horse. Oh. This is actually working quite well until I cleaned it. It's picking up from both wheels fine. Whoever's in tomorrow is going to come in, find all these cotton wool buds at the bin and go, what was going on in here last night? Oh, you've got one in the bag already, have you, Leslie? Good on you. I've got 3 or 4 videos half done. Done a load of scatter on the Pedigo layout. Leave that to dry. Vacuum it off. There should be enough left over to do the rest. Leave that to dry. Vacuum it off. I'll go around and do a load of static grass. And that should be that sort of side of the layout done. Oh, I need to make fences and put fences up as well. You getting a new roof, Mark? Is that in one of your updates that I missed? Trying to do put a new trailer together as well for my channel. To be on the main page when you first come to my page. Give people information. What I want to try and do is publish model railway stuff on Fridays. Wednesdays will be anything to do with the museum here. And then sort of anything else that I do, like maybe rail fanning or visits to other sites might put them out on Monday evenings, just so people know what to expect. But YouTube's a very funny place. If you stray off your path at all, people don't like it. Even though everything on my channel is railway related. The wee break is completed. You're gonna be curious now. I'm gonna go to the community tab. Oh yeah, there's a picture. New roof will be being installed. Are you getting them to put any Velux windows or anything like that in while they're doing it? All right, Ewan. Good night. Take care. Take it easy. Hope you get well soon. Time is it? Oh, it's 5 to 11. I might call it a night soon. They're supposed to be back here at 11:30. So that'll give me half an hour to finish tidying up, putting everything away. Nip over town, see what takeaways open. Get myself a sneaky little burger. $30K! Bloody hell! You know what you should have got them to do while they're doing the roof is actually make the hole for the window, and then once you have some money later down the line, it's already cut out, and you just take the tiles off and put the window in. It's 30, like you only just moved into that house as well. Did your surveyor not pick that up before you moved in, or? Yeah, steam here is very. I think we only have on the island. I think we on the standard gauge, the 5'3". I think we only have 2 working steam engines. Number 85 Merlin and Carl, you know the other one. Like there is a few undergoing restoration, but they're going to take years to complete. Yeah, it's always good. Do it on the back where it's not seen from the road because it negates some issues with planning. Where's that one going from, Carl? The one in 2 weeks. Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot, Peter. There's a lot of places that have gone diesel only because it's a fire risk. I remember years ago being on the West Somerset Railway. As we were going along, you could see along the trackside all the spot fires that were there because they used to follow the train with a diesel with a tanker of water and just stop and put out fires. Right, let's just make sure everything is running. Oh no, I think it might be my dodgy track laying because I did lay this track in the winter when it was cooler, so now it's warmed up a bit. It does look a bit, shall we say, wavy. It looks quite realistic to what the old Donegal Railway looked like. Some of it's track laying. Oh, it sold out, did it? Right, let's put this. There you go. Yeah, good night, Leslie. Yeah, I'm just going to call it a day now as well. Get tidied up in here. Try and wash all this muck off my hands. See this is the lamp I was on about. See the slight glow in it. All I've done is just put an LED in there. Just give a slight glow effect. And there's some of the, well, that's actually, I believe that's O gauge. And then we've got some G gauge. So good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in on this impromptu live stream. And I will catch you all Thursday, hopefully. Unless my daughters go out for another night, in which case I'll be in here again. So thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. And if you're lurking in the background, not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And I will talk to you all soon. Take care, everybody. Remember, drink plenty, stay out of the heat. Don't forget your sunscreen. Good night, all.